Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Sounds like Tyson Fury could be making excuses already. Now, if you haven't heard Tyson Fury talk about his upcoming fight with Oleksandr Usyk, well, you should probably tune in and check out the press conference. Usyk didn't participate. Can't really blame him because he seems to be tired of Tyson Fury's antics, and he really doesn't know if Tyson Fury's coming or going. Bottom line is Tyson Fury ended up doing a press conference about his fight with Oleksandr Usyk on May 18th. Turki Al-Sheikh joined the press conference. But at the end, Tyson Fury was doing a couple interviews. And he was talking about how he's ready to fight right now. And that he is concerned that there's still 5 weeks to go until the fight, but he's already what I would describe as he's already peaking. Now, this is not a good thing for Tyson Fury. Now, if you follow the channel, you know I feel Tyson Fury is being positioned for him to go out here and get a victory. But when I hear Tyson Fury talking about how he's peaking already, and when he said it, he looked really he looked really concerned. But my thing is, I try to understand and try to be fair, right? Even though I have an opinion, try to be fair when it comes to these fighters, especially old Tyson Lucky Fury. I'm the lineal champion, little. I beat them fair and square. Everybody want to hear that, right? But he started training a long time ago, and he was in pretty good shape when the cut above the right eye happened. The verdict's still out on that, but obviously he got cut, right? Now he's back, he's continuing training, right? And he was already in good shape before the cut. So he's peaking right now. And unfortunately for him, he has to wait 5 more weeks. But when you take a look at, let me pull this up for you, right? When you take a look at this right here, okay, let me try to make it a little bit larger for you. What this right here is telling you in this figure is for boxing, 12 to 6 weeks out, it's a lot of physical and mental training, okay? Tyson Fury, been there, done that. So he's actually well beyond the necessary time frame or the recommended time frame needed for training when it comes to physical and mental. Then 6 to 2 weeks out, right? This is where there's a whole lot of sparring and technical training that's taking place, right? So he actually has probably done a bit more than what was recommended within the time frame here in this figure. Then here it is, you're talking about one week to 1 day is where you start to taper and really start to monitor fluid and energy balance manipulation. Then, around the 1 week to 1 day mark, you want to kind of make the weight and rehydrate and refuel. Then on the day of is where you want to, optimize warm-up, mental and technical preparation. But when you look at this chart, obviously Tyson Fury is more like a 24-week kind of preparatory phase for the professional boxing match. And that is not good for him, nor is it good for Oleksandr Usyk. So Usyk has continued training, but I think, I don't really know if Usyk could be running into the same obstacle of, man, I'm ready to fight tomorrow, but I have to wait 5 more weeks. So what is it that these fighters can do to not overtrain, to not get in the ring where their legs are gone, to where they're lethargic, to all of a sudden they feel drained, because that can happen. I can tell you from personal experience, training, right? I remember getting ready for fit tests when I was still in the military. And, I would always start about 12 weeks out. and I would have to, sometimes I was already in shape, but there were times where I got older, like probably after 35. Man, I'd have to cut weight and get to be able to run. It was just a mile and a half was a test. But I used to run like 5-6 miles, because I still had that damn, boxer in me. So I would start off on like the first day, first week, kind of walk, do a little bit of walking, slow jog, and I used to target hills. I like running hills. And just take my time and run until it became a bit overwhelming. Then I would just, walk it out. I'd always walk for about 2 hours. And then the next day I'd try to push to jog a little bit further. And then the next run, by like the 6th run, I was able to run the whole thing, but not fast. I had to pace myself. But what would happen for me is around like that 9th week, I'd be sprinting. No kidding, man. I'd be sprinting 5 or 6 miles. I'd take off and I could sprint that whole shit. But not the hills. I would push hard up the hills. And then if I start to feel a little bit winded, because when you run those hills, I'm talking about hills like this, man. Especially when I was in Japan and Okinawa, some of those hills were just steep. And I would just jog in place and then push until I had to jog in place and then push, but I would never stop moving my legs. So when I would go to the track now, where like I was about 9 weeks out, or about 4 weeks out, around week 8 or 9, I would go and run around the track, and I used to sprint that shit. It was only a mile and a half for the fit test, but I was running 5 or 6 miles, remember that, and basically sprinting that. Man, I used to get on there and run that mile and a half. I used to run that shit in like 7 minutes and 50 seconds, 7:50. My best run was like 7:25, but then I was running between like 7:50. And then as I got a little bit older, I was running like 8:30. Then eventually 10 minutes, 10:50, stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, sometimes I would go to run, after I had peaked, and it was just, my legs felt shot. It was hard to move. I felt tired. I was never winded. Just my body felt tired. And I was like, what the hell was that? I just sprinted this shit the other day. It's because of overtraining. So I could definitely understand Tyson Fury being concerned, because the physical and mental training, that's taking place. Then he goes into the sparring and technical training, that's taking place. You're trying to taper and kind of balance to get ready for the big event. But, you're looking at it, and he's so many weeks out. So how is he going to manage that is my concern. How is he going to manage that and continue to do some kind of strength and conditioning to make sure that he can carry on this state that he's achieved for the biggest fight of his life without burning himself out or getting in a ring and feeling lethargic and just feeling like he was off. That should happen from overtraining. I'm telling you, man. And you can say, well, you're not a professional boxer. What are you talking about? I can tell you that shit from training 4 fights and going into the gym to spar. Man, when your legs are gone, man, let me tell you something, man. Some of the worst, one of the worst things you can do, for me anyway, was for me to get up in that morning and go run, run those hills, man. And for like hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I would come back, and I would have like physical training. In the military, you gotta do PT. So I would go run in the morning, then go do PT. And then in the evening, I go spar. And sometimes, man, you're just tired. You're just tired, man. And that's why these guys, they want to break their bodies down and then start to build it back up. But they time everything so they peak right in time to go into the fight and not to overtrain. And that is a good, sound like it could be an excuse for Fury, but that's a legit concern. I gotta be fair. That's a legit concern. So, and even for Oleksandr Usyk, he's not saying anything, but that'd be a concern of mine if I was in the Usyk camp. You know what I'm saying? What if he overtrains? He's peaking now. What happens? But that being said, Tyson Fury is a professional, right? You got to, as much as I have a hairy eyeball on him, he's a professional. Usyk is a professional. And I fully expect those guys to get into the fight week, do their weigh-ins, and to be 100% for the fight. But, man, those physiological demands, physical demands, the impacts on those physiological demands of their how that affects their technical ability and their practical applications, man. And when it comes to training, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. That can affect these guys, not just how they deliver the punch, but to make sure that they're punching effectively. It's just a number of things. But we'll see how this fight plays out. But I am very, very concerned about both of these guys and possibly peaking early and get in the ring. Maybe they're both overtrained. And maybe we get both of them in there looking like they're taking it to the stupid. And we're like, yo, that was one of the worst fights we've ever seen in our lives. Maybe Turkey Al-Sheikh is like, yo, y'all get the hell up out of Saudi Arabia and don't come back. Tyson Fury, forget this 5, 7, 10 fight deal making you a billionaire. Y'all get your asses out of here. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, y'all come over here. Even you, big baby Gerald Miller, you bring your big fat ass over here too. I'm gonna put the money in your pocket. You guys can put on a more entertaining showing than what we just saw with these two cockleholes. Anyway, y'all keep cool. More to come. I'm in the breeze.